Let's go to Matthew. Matthew in Tennessee. Hi.
Hey, how
Welcome.
are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. Doing
Good.
great.
Good. Good. Good.
Hey, my question or comment was there's there's a lot of things that need to happen for the good of America, and
Mm.
I think the major thing is that we got to stop buying into the divisiveness. And
Oh,
you made a
I
comment.
agree. I agree with you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we agree.
So things like if I am out at a bar drinking with somebody and they say something I disagree with,
Hmm.
I talk to them about it. And the next day, I don't think they're an asshole. I think that they're somebody with a different opinion.
Okay.
And
Me too. Me too.
you mentioned that
Yeah.
J.D. Vance
Hmm.
turned into an asshole after you read
Yes.
his book. And
Okay.
this isn't a gotcha. This is
Mm.
what is it that
Uh,
makes him an asshole now?
well, so here, oh, you ready? You ready? First of all, how did you find, do you listen to the show frequently? It sounds like you don't.
No.
Okay. So how did you get here today?
So, this is going to sound horrible, but
Oh,
I
I'm sorry.
flip to the other side's
Oh,
channels quite
ooh,
often just to see what
the other
they're
side.
saying and
You
thinking.
know, first of all, that's divisive, Matthew.
Yeah.
What sides are there?
Mr.
What's the other
Mr. No
side?
Device.
Yeah.
Side
Don't
of the
don't be
media,
divisive, but I flip to the other side. What's the other side?
the non-conservative media.
I'm not. I'm actually super conservative. I'm a
Yeah,
registered
Karen is
Republican. Would
actually
you
way
would you
more
know that,
conservative than me.
Matthew? You would know that if you listen. Because here's the thing: like, I don't open a book in the middle, read a few pages, and think I can write a book report on it, and I wouldn't accept that from my students, right? But you, first time listening to the show, I'm imagining, right? It's the first time you just flip to the
No,
other side, and
not
you
the
know
first
what?
time, but
Oh, okay. You flip to the other side though. So you consider this space the other side of what?
conservative,
What? So define conservative.
fiscal, conservative, small
Check.
government.
Me
Oh
too.
my God.
Check, check. Okay,
Yeah.
what else?
Awesome. Hey, no, makes me happy.
Mm, okay. So why did you assume this was the other side?
Uh, I've listened before, not a lot,
Mm.
but I did hear today on that comment about
That
J.D.
one
Vance that
thing
you read
you
his
you
book.
you everything else we said, from education, which was very conservative, to states' rights, which was very conservative, to all of the ways in which we should build community, which I think people should all agree with, the way we looked at education. But it was me calling JD Vance an asshole, somebody who called Trump our Hitler, but then was okay with this man being on his ticket. It's weird to me that that's the thing that drove you. So I'm calling BS on you, Matthew. You're not being honest. And I think that this is part of the problem in this country, because you called here and the caller said Karen seems very angry, but you were too much of a coward to say that, right? Because it wouldn't line up, because that angry thing is a trope that you can't quite articulate, because it would make you look really, really silly to say that, because I'm anything but that. I'm going to hold you accountable. But I think you need to search your soul and ask yourself what the real problem is, because I'm not on the other side of anything other than I am on the other side of inhumanity. So if you're on the side of inhumanity, I am absolutely on the other side of that. I am here for humanity. I want people to eat. I want them to have a roof over their heads. I want everyone to be happy, have enough money to be able to travel and live life abundantly, right? Are you on the other side of
The
that, Matthew?
opportunity for all. Yes, I
Okay.
want them to have
You
the
are on the
opportunity to do it,
uh-huh.
but they
So
don't. No
who's
one, no
who's
one in the Constitution, it does not say anything about that you have the right to those things. You have the right to try to
you
be those things, to try to earn
I
those
don't
things.
understand. I don't understand what your point is.
Well, you asked if I believe that everybody should have food.
No, I asked you if you were on the other side of me wanting people to have food.
If not through the government,
Okay.
if they
So
earn it
how?
themselves or if
Oh.
out of
So wait.
personal
So
charity,
the GI Bill. You're against the GI Bill.
that's something for something. That's not
No, 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 no,
a
no,
handout.
no. So that you know that there were government handouts to build the middle class. It wasn't just the GI Bill. There were all of these government programs under the New Deal that allow for there to be a middle class. There were subsidies for homes. There were subsidies for food. All of these programs, and the majority of people who have SNAP and who are on WIC are white in this country. So first of all, it's not even, the people who are going to be harmed the most are people in red states, because they're the ones disproportionately on the government handout. So you want all of those to go away.
If it's not in the core role of government, as rolled out by the Constitution, I don't believe it should be there.
I would love for that to be the case. And I think you would quickly find out how twisted and wrong your views are and how you've been duped into believing something that is absolutely not true. And I think it's really sad that we live in a world that you could have the audacity to call up, tell my call screener, Karen seems angry, cherry pick some line just so that you can get your stuff off, and then tell us we're on the other side of something that you haven't done not an ounce of study on. That to me is like, you should be embarrassed.
I called for a conversation, and
no, you didn't. You didn't. No, you didn't. Because if you call for a conversation, I got to know Cena. He came in. He was promoting something. We chatted. We chatted off mic. We had some fun with him. Then he's been back, and it allows for us to have deeper and more rich, more meaningful conversations because we've gotten to know one another, right? You can't have, and this is the problem in this country, these drive-by social media, you've been indoctrinated on a channel, you listen to something every day no, you can't, you're incapable of having a real conversation with me because you haven't done the work. That requires something of you, Matthew, to have a conversation with me. Are you willing to do the work?
Seriously, your phone number's on the station on XM Radio.
It is.
And I listen, and I love to engage people. I love to have conversations with people that don't think like me.
Okay.
Well, you don't grow.
So my question to you is, do you consider yourself a Christian? I'm just curious.
I do. Okay.
So I follow Christ. And to have a conversation with people who don't think like you, the only people who don't think like you are people. So Jesus says a lot of things, but there was this meme that I was going to post today, and he said, you love your neighbors, right? You love your neighbors as yourself. It doesn't say love your government. So if I'm required to love my government and not my neighbors, I'm picking my neighbors, right? I feel like you pick your government just based on this exchange right now. I think you need to do a little bit more work. Just because the numbers up there doesn't give you the right, it's not in the Constitution to actually engage with me. And as a result of that, I'm going to invite you out, do some work, do some study, sit with this for a minute, let your soul open a little bit, just a little, and then come back and really have a conversation with us. Not this drive-by nonsense. We're not doing that. Cena Ghaznavi is here. Hi, Cena.
Man, you're good at that. That's
angry.
Learning a lot. Taking notes over here.
It's not hard. It's not hard, right? Because I'm actually really, really open to different, like if he came, and there was a caller yesterday that was goaded to call here. There's an edict out there to call Urban View and harass us, right? Wow. And he came in, but he was on hold for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, not 5 minutes, right? So he really got to hear the conversation. So by the time we went to him, he didn't have the energy to do what he came here to do. And it changed. I could feel in real time, right? We're going back and forth. And I was like, okay, I see you. But he, more importantly, understood something happened to him. And he's been told something that this is not what I thought it was. And I thought I was going to, because they're looking for that fight. Yeah. So as much as they're looking for the other side, what you're looking for is something that's not here. Open your eyes.
The other side thing really got me. Because
what is that?
The thing, whenever I talk about this show, I'm like, Karen's surprisingly more conservative. And that's like a thing that's like, it's just not, you're not leftist, you're like a very, build it up, build your own castle kind of thing. And it's very funny that they'll come here thinking this is some sort of like socialist paradise that they're going to get. But it's a party of Lincoln, R or D you want to back.
Come on.
It's wild.
What's even wilder is they don't even have the integrity to sit with that. Once you realize it's not what you thought, and then examine why you thought that. Why'd you come in with that
divisiveness.
energy? But you calling me
The
divisive.
irony of like,
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
like.
come
What?
to the,
What
we
is
gotta
that?
stop. We gotta come together. That's why I came to the other side. Wow. You don't
Yeah,
even
I'm-
hear yourself.
And the arrogance of that, like somehow, like you, oh, so your side is better. You know more. You're more evolved as a person. I'm
By
gonna
the way,
ask all
what
y'all to
bar is
wrap
he
up your
drinking at?
knuckles. Yeah, put some of that bacitracin on your knuckles because they be dragging. They're all scraped up. I don't want you to get an infection.